السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. ثم أما بعد. حقيقة, the last thing I want to mention here is just a reminder for something I mentioned briefly in my talks during my stay in this conference, which is a summary of the meaning of this hadith can be found in the Quran, and that is in Surah Al-Asr. The actual hadith that we learned throughout this actual conference, that you take advantage of 5 things before other 5 things catch up with you, that you won't get benefit afterwards from your time and from your life, is nothing but the summary of Surah Al-Asr. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the time. I swear to you by the time, and especially the Asr time, regardless how you define Asr here, but eventually it's like a short period of time. That's what it means. Time is very short, we could say. And Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Like saying, indeed, that every insan, every human being is a constant state of loss. That's the meaning of it. We're always in a constant state of loss. Look, we're aging and we're getting older. And as we get older, our expenses probably would increase with us. So with all of that stuff, our wealth is decreasing, probably our energy is decreasing, our age is also decreasing, our life quality is decreasing. SubhanAllah, everything is in a constant state of loss. And then the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except for those people who have these 4 qualities. What are these qualities? We all know them from the surah. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who have faith, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they acted upon this faith with good deeds, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, and they enjoined among themselves to do good, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and they assisted each other into endure patience in the process of doing that. Now let me explain this to you quickly in the share of this hadith that we learned in this conference. All our life in this world is just to bridge the gap and close the gap between what we know and what we practice. That's all what we do in this life. We have the knowledge, we have the faith. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We believe that this life is temporary. We believe that the akhirah is real. We believe that the Prophet ﷺ was haqq. We believe there is a day of judgment. We believe there is Jannah, there is Jahannam. We believe in all of that. But how many of us, their life is honestly dependent on that belief system? How many of us? So there is always a huge gap between إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, those who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they act upon this belief. There's always this gap. And all our life is trying to close this gap completely. Why is that? Because this gap creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of feeling of insecurity, weakness, and put it in real words, this gap is the gap of hypocrisy. When someone starts feeling hypocritical, why is that? Because our practice is not in accordance to what we believe in. And the smaller the gap, the stronger we are. The greater the gap, the weaker we are, the more hypocritical we feel. So every time you see yourself feeling hypocritical and weaker in your iman and your deen, there's a gap that is increasing between what you believe in and what you're supposed to be doing. So how am I going to do this? This is where the hadith comes in. The hadith is telling you to take advantage of your youth before your old age, your health before you get sick, your wealth before you get poor, your free time before you get busy, and your life before you die. As simple as that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the surah is asking us to close this gap, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us the tools. Like, hey, your time is nothing but time frames. Use them to your advantage to the fullest of what you can do. Use your health, use your wealth, your youth time, everything that you have to the advantage of closing this gap and shutting this gap between what you believe in and what you practice. I know, we all know it's gonna be easy. And that's what Allah says afterwards, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. They enjoin good among themselves. Because I can't do it myself alone. I will need your help. You will need my help. And that's why we have here this conference here and this convention. We come together to assist each other for this. Because I will remember something from the mashayikh, and I will remind you something else, and you will remember from somebody else as well. So we help each other, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, on trying to always close this gap. It's not going to be simple. It's going to be very hard. And that's why the next phase is what? وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And they enjoin among themselves, and they order each other to be patient. You see, it's very hard for people to really accept nasiha, take a nasiha. It's so hard. Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala says, "An-nasihatu fi an-nas aziz, wa azzu minha qabuluha." That finding basically giving a nasiha and finding a nasiha or advice from somebody is so scarce among the people. And what is more scarce is to find someone to accept it. So therefore, it requires a lot of patience on our part to accept the nasiha and accept the effort that has been given to us from other people to bridge and close this gap. So I want you to remember, inshallah, that this surah, Surah Al-Asr, is really just like a roadmap for you. All your life is about closing this gap of weakness and gap of hypocrisy between what you believe in and what you practice. And the hadith is giving you actually the motivation. Use every single time frame of your life to your advantage so you can bridge this gap and close it, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala, so you become stronger believer and stronger faithful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah make us among those who listen to the speech and follow the best of it, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.